What's going on, y'all? It's old Buck Carolina Crazy Outdoors. I am up here in Chesterfield County right now, and I'm up here to see a deer that is going to be the biggest deer ever killed in Chesterfield County. It is the biggest deer I've ever put my hands on. I've seen the pictures, but the pictures does not do this deer justice. It's an incredible buck. But before we get into all that, I want to show you real quick Sutton's Taxidermy. That's where we're at. I want to see some of his work. And this is not the finished product. This is his work area. He's got some really awesome deer on the wall. But we're gonna have a big old bear. That's awesome there. But I want to show you the finished product. You talking about amazing work? Because I've seen a lot of mounts. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Got to give credit where credit's due. Just gorgeous deer, man. Awesome deer. I love it. He's back there in the background talking about how he still can't believe he killed that big deer. Look at that. That's just gorgeous work, y'all. Gorgeous work. So if y'all near Chesterfield, or you don't mind driving, he does awesome work. But anyway, we're gonna get in here and check this deer out. I hope y'all like it. Like I said, it's an incredible deer, so I'm excited to bring it to you and to hear his story. What's going on, y'all? All right, finally made it back in here with Mr. Donnie, and as you can see, oh my gosh, what an incredible deer this is. It's a mainframe 10 point. It is the biggest 10 point I've ever laid eyes on in South Carolina. This deer is it's already grossed over 170 inches, and they're pretty confident it's still gonna be in the low to mid 160s after it's all said and done. And I'm just honored to be here to hold this rack. I mean, because not many punters can say they've held a rack like this. So enough of my blah blah blah. Mr. Donnie, tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, I've done a lot of work and worked on the farm and everything.
Farmer.
Yeah.
You been hunting deer all your life?
No, not really. I used to hunt a lot when I was younger, and several years there I fell out of hunting, but my grandsons got me back into it.
Why in the world did you fall out of hunting?
Well, just going fishing and this and that. I love it.
So in other words, other outdoor activities.
Yeah,
well,
love
I'm
it.
sure after this here, you're glad you got back into it.
Yes, sir.
Man, so you killed this deer in the morning, afternoon?
I shot this deer at 6:25 in the morning.
Wow, early buck.
I had to get down and go look to see.
Yeah.
At 7:20. I sat there almost an hour. I couldn't hardly believe it.
Man. So take me through how it all happened. You watched this buck at 75 yards walking away.
He was walking away from me about 75 yards. He walked on down to about 100 yards, and he was standing there looking in the bushes, looking at a doe. He had his mind on a doe.
Boy, them does that get these big boys killed. That's a fact. So take me through it. You know, I know you said he was walking away. At what point did it present a shot?
I was trying to get the deer to turn. He was almost, when I first seen him, he was walking away from me. And he turned just a little bit to the right. And I actually hollered. I thought to myself, well, he didn't even hear me. And I said, well, I'm gonna have to shoot. And I fired the first time. And I said to myself, I can't believe it. He didn't even move.
Oh man,
he was standing there looking at that doe. And I hollered again, and he didn't even hear me. I fired that second time, and he just stepped on over into the woods like he wasn't even hit.
Oh my Lord!
I couldn't believe. I said to myself, well, I couldn't have missed that deer the second time.
Right.
I just couldn't have done it.
Now, did you realize this was the kind of deer that you were shooting at?
No, sir. I did not realize he was this big.
Did y'all have any camera pictures of him or anything?
No, sir. We didn't have no pictures of this deer.
Wow. Man, so he just popped up.
He just popped up.
Man, I can't imagine. You ain't got no pictures of a deer like this, and you go hunting not expecting anything in a world-class deer walks out pretty much. This is a typical monster.
That's right. It's unbelievable. It's hard for me to even believe now.
Dude, I'm happy for you. I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, I just can't imagine. Well, I know you said you were actually concerned about having a heart attack because your doctor said you don't need to get worked up.
Yeah, I don't supposed to be getting. My doctor says don't get excited. Don't get too excited. So I tried not to get excited when I walked down there, but it was hard not to.
I bet so.
I had to call my grandson. We sort of pick at one another about the deer. He's called me a week before. He's wanted me to come help him get a doe out of the woods. And when we got down there, it was a big 8-point.
Mm-hmm.
so I called him and I told him I'd come help me get this cow horn out of the woods. So when he come down there, and he said he couldn't believe it. He jumped off that 4-wheeler, run down there. He said, "I see horns."
Yeah, you've seen a lot of horns.
So,
well,
it's just unbelievable to me.
He thought he was walking up on a cow horn and walked up on every hunter's dream buck. I mean, everybody, 95% of the hunters in South Carolina will never see a deer like this ever. And a lot of them will never put their hands on one that they didn't kill. I mean, this is an unbelievable deer, man.
I appreciate it.
Unbelievable. What'd you shoot him with?
30-06.
Oh yeah, old school, and I loved old 30-06, man. Seemed like, I don't know why, seemed like them old timers loved them 30-06. I mean, they just do. I mean, well, I'm excited for it.
This deer was he was at least 100 yards, maybe just a little over 100 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
And it brought him down.
Mm-hmm. So, well, let's ask your grandson what it felt like walking up on a deer after he's been bluffed.
Yes, sir.
You don't mind holding me that real quick?
Yes,
and we're
sir.
going to come back in a second. We're going to get a little bit better view of this deer because everybody deserves to see how awesome of a rack this is. It is incredible. So, let me grab this old tripod up. I love doing this. All right, cuz. So, Grandpa calls you up and says, "Bud, I need a hand. I got a cow horn on the ground." So, what you thinking at that point?
Well, we got a bunch of nice bucks on camera, and I've been trying to, I guess you'd say, training to, let them little ones walk.
Right.
And when I got down there, I drove the folder. I kept saying, "It's down there on the creek, down there on the creek." When I walked up, I cut the folder off. We had to get around a log, and I just cut the folder off, took off walking. Look at this deer.
You know what TJ said?
What's that?
He said, whenever he walked down there, he said, I worked all night, 12 hours. He said, I got off work and I got to go down there and help Grandpa get up.
That's what it's all about. He thought he was going to help get a cow horn.
Yep.
That's funny. So at what point were you like, this is a buck of a lifetime for everybody?
Well, when I saw it, it was about, I don't know, it was about 60, 70 yards from me when I saw it down on the creek, and all I could see was horns over the brush.
Good Lord of
So
mercy.
I took off walking, I got down there to it, and when I walked up to it, I mean, it was just, you had to put your hands on it.
Oh yeah.
You had to
Well,
put
I can't keep my hands off of it. I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I say it's just awesome. It's unbelievable. I even right now, it's unbelievable me sitting here holding this. I tell you.
Well,
I've
I'll
never
tell you.
seen a deer this big before.
no, and
And I sure didn't dream of shooting one this big.
right. 95% of us ain't never gonna see a deer this big unless you go up north or out west. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
That's what they all tell me. Said this is a deer that people gives a bunch of money to.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is a classic 10, man. I mean, people dream of killing a 10 point, but I'm gonna tell you something. This here is just, God, it's just unbelievable.
It's awesome.
Unbelievable.
It's awesome.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, I'm so glad that you sit down with me to talk about this because everybody needs to hear the story. There's always a story that goes with the picture. And I love doing this. I love putting the stories there where you can tell how it felt and how it went down, everything. You deserve that. This deer deserves that, so, I appreciate it. Let's look at this deer a little bit closer. All right, Mr. Donnie, hold this deer up.
Hold it.
Look at that right there. I mean, you talking about extreme main beams. I mean, this seems like miles of main beams over inches.
It's huge.
Look at the inside of this rack, man. Just unbelievable. Awesome brow times. Times is just Jesus. Almost 22-inch inside spread. This is just a massive deer, man. Massive deer. You deserve it, brother. I'm excited for you.
I appreciate it.
Excited. Check this out. I'm gonna get one of these to hold a camera. I'm a pretty wide guy, so I want y'all to see how big this deer really is. Hold this camera on me a second. Mr. Donnie, I gotta take it from you.
Okay.
That's just an excuse for me to hold it again. I'm wide, man. I'm a big guy. Look at this. Just look at this deer. This is just incredible. I mean, I'm holding my, you know, you got guys that do this when they take a picture.
Oh, Lord.
You ain't got to do that with nothing like this. I got it right up against me, and you can see how big this rack is. It's
I can fit
enormous.
inside of it.
Yeah, you definitely can fit inside of it. Massive, massive, massive.
Cute.
It's huge.
People go up north and out west kill stuff like this. Amazing deer.
That's every hunter's dream.
Every hunter's dream.
It sure is.
All right, y'all.
I know there won't be no nothing like this.
No.
I told him he quit hunting now.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this thing up. Mr. Donnie, you got anything you want to say?
Well, I just appreciate it, and it's awesome, and I appreciate everything.
Man, well, I hope you get another just like it or bigger. But you better get your dang on out-of-state license up north, because that's going to be hard to do that here. Again, man, I appreciate you sitting down with me to talk about this deer. Everybody deserves to see this and hear this. I mean, the buck deserves the credit, man. The deer.
I appreciate my grandson, TJ, going with me, get me back in it.
TJ, appreciate it, buddy. Because if you wouldn't have got your grandpa back into it, this right here would have never happened. And who's to know, if he wouldn't have got back into it, you wouldn't promise to ever see this deer. So, I mean, it was like it's meant to be.
Well, it's up to him because he got the land.
Grandpa's got the land.
I
Oh,
told
man.
him
I
I
told
was
the man,
don't charge him the commission.
he's a good fella.
Good deal.
He's a good man.
Good deal. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this thing up. I want to recognize a couple people real quick. Carl Kraut's Tire. Awesome tire business right here local to where I live. Twin City Concrete, Port All My Concrete. Great guys. But hope y'all enjoying these little interviews I'm doing. Like I said, pictures are great, but until you get the story, man, you're cheating yourself out of it. I love hearing these stories. These hunters deserve to tell these stories, and the deer deserve to be told about. So I appreciate it, and y'all have a good one.